I'm Donald Moffat.
And I'm Heather Menzies. Logan's Run will not be on tonight.
But stay tuned for the Charlie Brown special and the Fat Albert Halloween special.
And we'll be back next Monday night.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. Coming February 21st, it's Faye and the Moon, the latest graphic novel from Franco and the Saturn Sisters. Faye, mourning for her missing mother, sits night after night below the moon that her mother loved dearly. One night she discovers she can pluck the moon out of the star-filled sky. Back safe in her house, she holds it close, feeling comfort at last. Then Faye loses the moon and finds that taking it has awakened ancient monsters, rats, dragons, and more, who hunt for it for themselves. Will Faye be able to reclaim the moon, find her own inner strength, and save the world from eternal darkness? Faye and the Moon comes from the minds of Franco, whose works include Tiny Titans, Superman of Smallville, Archimaniacs, Itty Bitty Hellboy, and The Ghost and the Owl, and art from the Saturn Sisters, whose animated works include Sesame Studios' The New Neighbors, Hulu's The Awesomes by Seth Meyers, and PBS's Mira, Selkie from the Sea. Pre-order Faye and the Moon now. Available in bookstores and comic shops everywhere, February 21st. Welcome back, everybody. Been a while, but it's time again for an Oh Yeah Trek Watch. We've got Franco, Mitch, and Wayne here. Good to see you. I like Mitch's Captain America headband.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was the Karate Kid for a minute.
Son, show me Sandafloor.
I did a lot of LDS in the 60s.
Show me Fling the Shield.
It's true. Wow, all right. A lot of nice comments already. David Silly, thank you.
Oh, you're going to be in for some disappointment, buddy.
Yeah.
Langley is joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And Ephraim, good to see Ephraim. Thank you. And it's funny, I guess. All right, I'm competing with our buddy Rob Burnett.
Ooh.
And that's fine. I didn't realize that.
Uh-oh.
But that's cool. I like it. Langley says he'd like to see custom Alex Ross style MCU posters for every film. I agree.
That'd be good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man. Well, we're here mostly to talk about, of course, Star Trek Picard, which season 3 is up and running with the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And initial thoughts, guys. I loved it.
You never had to see the first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
that's what I kept thinking. Like, throw that shit away.
Just go straight to the 3rd and forget the first 2.
Right? Forget that robot nonsense. It's like, what?
I'm really curious to see how if they acknowledge the robot thing. I mean, he said, "Oh my adrenaline, I'm having an adrenaline rush," and it's like, no, you're not. You're a fucking robot, man.
Yeah,
it's But I loved what Riker said when he's like, "Great, your arms are stiff, my knees hurt. As long as we don't have to move or shoot at anything."
Why would he have any physical ailments? He should have like a robot body. And then he's looking at that painting and getting a little misty-eyed. I go, oh, what? He has sentiment to something? That's not his painting.
Not just that, the flute
robot.
Huh?
From the Inner Light episode.
Right,
You know,
the little flute. Yes.
We saw the first 2 seasons, and it is so ridiculous because, and not to nitpick, and again, ultimately we will focus on this season, but it is so inconsistent where, oh, I miss my good friend Data, and then the second season, wow, you really aren't attached to anybody, really, and now it was my favorite ship, and of course he loves Will, and he's worried about Beverly. It's such crap. And they can't keep a consistent thing. And it's really Patrick Stewart's fault because I'd like to include some pathos in my own life. And I don't mean to trivialize his real horrors, but it's like, dude, you're fucking with Picard. Stop it.
I kept wondering if we missed a secret episode that they haven't released where it's a Patrick Duffy reveal, with Victoria Principal, and it was all the last 2 seasons were all a dream.
Or when Q was dying, his final goodbye, because that's not the Jean-Luc. If we're gonna go according to the show, that was a robot. That's not the same Jean-Luc that he had all those years of adventures with, because it was a fucking android. He should have done one of those last dying days, and then everything was back the way it was, and it was that simple to rewrite it. Oh, I'm whole again. I'm a real boy. I don't have whatever syndrome I was dying.
I bet Patrick Stewart. I bet that was floated, and Patrick Stewart's like, no, I this is important to me. And now after 2 seasons of at best mixed success, the producers were probably like, okay, look, everybody wants a reunion. You saw how everybody went apeshit in that one episode from season 1.
Yeah,
quit fucking around. Let's go. Sir Patrick, quit fucking around, Sir Patrick.
Even Riker has some marital trouble at home, and I'm like,
yep.
So is this a whole new storyline too? Because we last left them making pizza out.
But that's consistent with the series, because that's always been on and off throughout Next Generation. So I was okay with that.
That's interesting, Franco, because I was going to say it's consistent with Picard and really New Trek. Everyone needs a personal crisis. And this guy Steve Shives, who I enjoy watching on his reviews. And I don't always agree with him because he really loved Discovery for whatever fucking reason. But it was really interesting. He saw this first episode of Picard, and he had a co-host with him, and they hated it, and they really nitpicked. And one of the things they pointed out that I cannot deny, it's like, all right, let's go through the checklist. 7 is not happy in Starfleet. Captain Shaw hates 7. Beverly has not spoken to everybody for 20 years, and she's got a secret son. Raffi's all fucked up, even though she's doing her Starfleet intelligence thing. Everyone has a problem, and it's like, God damn it, you cannot get away from that shit, can you? Can we have somebody I hope Geordi at the Fleet Museum is just gonna be like, hey, God, it's good to see everybody. How are you?
Geordi's daughter was the only one happy to be there. She was the only one excited.
But she's embarrassed by being
crashed.
And there was kind of, I'm sorry, there was kind of like a weird look on her face where she's like, yeah, my dad, all right, whatever. Yeah. What are you mouthing, Mitchell?
No, I said she was like, yeah, fuck you, Riker. Hey, what was your nickname at the academy? Hey, everybody, did you know she crashed something? And they're all looking over. I'm like, what a dick.
Wesley says he didn't watch season 2, watch the 3rd season premiere, thought it was fine. It is. It's good. The only thing I would say is there aren't Easter eggs, because Easter eggs are things hidden in the background. Every time they showed you something, there should have been that Hanna-Barbera cartoon thud of like, boom, there's another one. Boom. Jesus, man. They were not subtle at all. Hey, look, here's a bunch of Eagle Moss Enterprise. How you doing?
Did they use every single theme song from every single Star Trek on the show? I was like, oh my God, which one are we doing now? Because it was like the greatest hits album.
A lot of people said that, Mitch. I didn't mind it myself because...
No, I didn't mind it, but it was a lot.
Trek. Yeah, but that's okay. It's the problem, as we know, for the first 2 seasons was it didn't feel like Star Trek.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I appreciate, and as much as I'm making fun of the Easter eggs, like, remind everybody why we all came. We want to see this shit. It's okay. As long as the story is equally good and we don't get a member berry fest for 10 hours, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Good
night, everybody.
This one was just was loaded with everything.
It was a big, thick, fat sandwich, like all your favorites.
I'm curious to ask you guys what you thought of the captain of the Titan.
We can talk about that. Yes,
Captain douchebag,
Captain Shaw. Hold on, there he is.
There.
Yeah.
I like him. I like him. You know why I like him? Because much like Captain Jellicoe, he's not wrong. Actually,
That's what I was
go
going
back
to say. Yeah,
he's not wrong. And also, it's his fucking ship.
right.
And that's another inconsistency. I'm out of Starfleet now. I'm just at the Vineyard writing my books. Second season, I'm the admiral in charge of Starfleet Academy, and now he's out again. It's like you can pick a lane, man. But it's true when Shaw's like, I am an admiral. Yeah, you're a retired admiral. Go fuck it.
Yeah, I was watching.
A captain. Yeah, you're a captain without a ship. And by the way, my fucking ship. And by the way, that's the exact same thing Picard would say to somebody. I'm watching
this, and I'm thinking, God, what a douchebag this guy is. Why is he being like this? Because we love Riker and Picard. And then afterwards, I'm like, hey, you know what? He's kind of right.
Well, he pointed out all the things. Are you here to blow up something? Are you going to crash a ship? Are you going to start a fight?
Yep.
And by the way, I purged all the jazz from the library.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Stupid.
Oh, you don't like jazz? No, I don't like jazz. And the other, I do want to ask you guys this. Okay, obviously Shaw, and I don't understand why he would choose her as a first officer, but Shaw has a problem with Annika Hansen, formerly 7 of 9, and one of the reviewers, and I've never heard this phrase before. Dead naming. Are you guys aware of dead naming?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Franco, do you want to give the definition of dead naming?
Well, again, speaking from me, I'm not,
Yeah, you're a male cisgender.
Exactly.
Guy, but it's
so,
cool.
but if I were to be trans or something like that, and I changed my name to something whatever, you would still refer to me as Franco. I'm telling you that's not what I go by anymore. That's my dead name. Right. But you guys still insist on calling me by that name. So that's what a dead name would be.
But I think he has issues with the Borg. I think something happened at 359.
Yeah.
Well, did he say something to Picard about being a Borg?
Him being a Borg. I think there's something there with the Borg.
And that made me think of why does he have her as a first? Maybe something like he was assigned to her to keep an eye on her or something.
And had her pushed
on
the ship.
Admiral Janeway
I don't. Again, this is where it's like I think that's bullshit. But also further regarding the dead naming thing, and again, forgive me everybody, because I too am a cisgendered white guy. That said, I do, and art is subjective. So those of the LGBTQ world that see it as dead naming, I accept that. I don't, because I believe, and I want to know what you guys think, that 7, by leaving the collective and coming to the Borg, has embraced her humanity, and certainly as the years have gone on. But by the same token, has not abandoned her Borg identity. She, much like Spock, is of two worlds. And I do understand Shaw's, hey, are you with us or against us? I'm calling you Annika Hansen. And further, I agree with you, Wayne. In the end credits, we read something about the USS Constance. It was lost in action. You see the stardate 44002.3. That's Wolf 359. And I would imagine 20 years ago that his dad, older brother, who the fuck knows. But I believe that was they haven't spelled it out. And we'll go through more of them. I love the end credits, and also, by the way, I love the opening where Star Trek Picard. All right, let's go. Let's get to the show. Yeah, right. I don't need 2 minutes of fucking credits at the beginning of the show. Let's go. And I hope they do that for the next 10 episodes as well. But I loved the closing credits and all those Easter eggs, which again, hey, here they are. But by the same token, they're interesting clues, and we'll talk about them as we go.
My point about her being assigned to the ship would be the same as when Riker was assigned to the Enterprise. Picard didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
That's true.
They went to pick up Riker. Yeah. I had to go pick up, if I remember correctly, Encounter at Farpoint, they went to pick up Riker.
Yeah.
Their first officer. So it's still maintaining the military discipline that officers can be assigned to certain steps. And I'm sure Janeway was the one that had her pulled, because it's the Neo Constitution class. So it's going to be probably the fleet ship.
or maybe
in that specific class. So have her assigned to the fleet ship.
Maybe it's like the whole indoctrination of the Native Americans into culture, where they don't use 7 of 9 because that's like her Indian name or slave name, and they said no, your Christian name's going to be John Smith now, but no, it's running with water.
I think it's up to 7 of 9 what she wants to be called. If she wants to be called that, that's what everyone should go by. However, plot device wise, it makes sense for him to be dead naming her. It makes sense for him to be pissed off at Borg and make that comment at Picard.
It's a shitty thing to do. Like I said, I think it's more complicated than that. I have no issue with anyone who takes it that way. I just see it slightly differently. And again, as we will learn about Shaw's background, he might have an axe to grind with the Borg. We certainly don't admonish Sisko for his hatred of Picard because of the Wolf 359, as I like to point out. And further, 7 being a commander, are we to assume she went through Starfleet Academy? Because Wesley, even though he was acting Ensign Crusher, he had to go back to the Academy and really become legit. And I mean, I hated that at the end of season 2. Oh, well, I'm going to give you a field promotion. Yeah, shut up. Just, she's 7. That's plenty. It's all right.
Well,
Sergeant Rock got his promotion.
Yeah.
Through the field as they were all dying off. He got field command as he got up to sergeant.
And plus, she was on the Voyager with Janeway for years.
And I think that would qualify as on the job credit and everything. But I would think she would still have to go through Starfleet Academy and again just
download it into a chip. Maybe it's like Evelyn Wood speed reading or something because
she's on the Kirk plan of 3 years in and out.
What's that?
Yeah.
He was on the Kirk plan of 3 years in and out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Mail order.
And Doubt says, and I don't disagree. There's been a bit of a time jump with Raffi acting like an addict trying to get info from the drug dealer. Yeah, maybe. And I do like that she's undercover. I think that's cool. Also, and really her granddaughter has certainly aged since season 1, where Romulan wife to Raffi's son is still pregnant. I don't know.
I missed that.
I want to see Vulcan Legolas too.
You don't remember?
They all come back.
No, I don't want Romulan Legolas to come back. Mitch, you don't remember when Raffi, before she got the cryptic message from her contact, she was looking at a little girl.
That's supposed to be
that's her granddaughter.
That's her granddaughter. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
right. Can I point out one of the biggest things in this episode that really upset me is that when they come in to meet Shaw, he's eating a piece of blue meat. Did anybody else pick up on that?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
The blue milk.
Yeah, but it looked gross.
Maybe they're using the recycler and it's their poop.
Yeah, and another wrinkle of New Trek that it's like, please don't tell me that again, please, Jesus Christ. But no, they've always had blue food and blue, of course.
Yeah, well, they used to have the cubes. Remember on the original series, they had the cubes and the balls.
But the cubes is fine, but this looked like a piece of moist little.
I thought I thought it was cream spinach. They dyed blue, frankly.
But Shaw did have the best lines for that meal. Your reputations preceded you, so I started.
No, he was.
What was that
hilarious.
What was that?
John Luke was mad. He showed up. He's like, he didn't even stand up when he walked in the room. I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here, buddy?"
Nope. Oh, we want to run. We want. I'm sorry, man. We want to run the Titan through its paces for front TJ. No. But it's like, I am an admiral. Yeah, you're a retired admiral. Fuck you. Well, I'm a captain. Yeah, captain without a chair. Fuck you.
Yeah.
my ship.
So why didn't IDW or somebody put out a Captain Shaw comic already?
They probably will.
Oh, I hope so. God, I hope so. And he's gonna 180 and help them out, and we're all gonna love Captain Shaw.
Know that.
I think it's.
I saw a little thing on the internet this week that said prior to Riker, the captain of the Titan. You probably know this because you read those books. The captain of the Titan was Saavik. Captain Savick?
I saw that too.
When
Or
that
maybe it
happened,
was an earlier Titan. I don't know, because obviously you're going back to original cast timeline, and that's 80 years before Next Gen.
Well, she technically could have been, because I'm assuming Romulans live long like Vulcans, so maybe.
Yeah, who knows how old Laris is? Laris might be older than Picard.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's like, all right, if we're going to see you, I'm sure we'll see you in episode 10. See you later. And also, again, much like first season, she has intelligence, experience, and Beverly says, trust nobody in Starfleet. Well, why is, and again, I understand it's a very large cast, and thank God they jettisoned so many of the others, like Romulan Legolas and Agnes and all these other people.
Agnes.
And Crystal Balls, exactly. He's here in the 21st century. He's hanging out with Guinan at 10 Forward in LA.
Well,
Can't wait for that IDW comic either.
Right, Agnes is aboard. I get that. But yeah, it's like Orla Brady. It reminded me of the first season where it's like, okay, you got 2 Tal Shiars working for you. No, you need to stay here and tend to the grapes. What? What? Okay.
I thought that tentacle thing that went through the wormhole was going to show up and explain what happened there, but they forgot that too. Remember when all the Vulcan chicks were killing themselves?
Yeah.
They went insane. That was
well.
fucked up.
All right. First of all, let's put real fast for doubt. Clarification: was that guy Wesley or another son? It's another son.
Another son. Yeah.
And also, by the way,
is it?
And what
another
the hell?
son?
What's going on
John
there?
Luke's. I think it's John Luke's kid.
Or
that's the implication.
Or is he a clone?
I agree with Wayne. I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, Nemesis,
And
Star Trek Nemesis, another Romulan clone.
Why does he have a British accent?
Yeah, that was weird too. I was like, is that
That's
a British
the 23rd
accent?
part of the genome is the British accent.
Picard.
At least he doesn't speak like Bane. Maybe.
Actually, you know whose son it is? It's my son.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Ev and I go way back.
He would have had more hair. He would have had more hair.
Well, I was trying to figure out the timeline. So John Luke's in his 90s. I always thought Beverly was around his age, but I guess not, because then she would be in her late 80s, which I didn't think was possible.
Well, and
how old is that kid?
Well, honestly, that plays into Wayne's theory of how could she conceive a child so late in life, and also the fact that Jack Crusher's suitcase is there with all his belongings. Maybe she scraped off some of Jack's DNA, and
she scraped off some of Jack's DNA.
Yeah, that sounds nasty. Sounds like
the last time they were together with Star Trek Nemesis involving cloning.
That's true too.
Or I was thinking during Insurrection when they all started turning younger again. Remember, are your breasts firmer?
Yeah, your breasts are firming up.
So maybe everything else came back into high gear and she got her reproductive organs back, and her and John Luke got it on, and there you go.
Could be.
Because Beverly just mysteriously disappeared 20 years ago. I'm like, what the hell's that line from? It's like, oh, she doesn't write a Christmas card anymore.
Well, and again, that's why it's a little flabby in the writing, but it is such a vast improvement from the first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
I'll roll with it. I will roll with it. It's fine. But I don't mind us pointing that shit out. But yeah, I honestly, Mitch, like you said, she would be that old. I really think the DNA sequences we saw in the readouts, the brain sequences we saw in the readouts and stuff, that to me suggests clone.
Why is the doctor killing people so recklessly? What happened to preserving all life? She don't give a shit.
Well, that's a question. Yeah. I think we're going to find out.
That was a cool shotgun.
She was vaporizing people. This set phasers to disintegrate. I'm like, wow, not even stunned? Jeez.
I have a theory about those aliens too, and I got to find the photo to support it. Here they are.
The ships look like giant ticks.
The ships?
No, like a tick on a dog. Oh. I was like, oh, look, it's a tick.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah, they're there with Pee Wee Herman, obviously. But I believe
was that shown in the first episode?
No, that was
the trailer.
That's Amanda Plummer, right?
Right. Yeah, she's you've seen from the trailers.
Yeah.
You've seen from the trailers she's going to be in it.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't mind showing that, even though she didn't show up in this or at least we saw the ship. I assume she's on the ship. 2 things. One, that ship sure looks like what was his name in Nero's ship in the first JJ movie.
With the big
Shinzon,
claw.
right?
And also, okay, so this is where they're in the Righton system. And I've got 2 map shots. And you'll forgive me, everybody, because it's small. But if you see the red X that's up near the top, near the center.
Okay, I like how all 3 of us go like this.
Everyone's leaning in.
All 3 of us are like,
exactly.
Oh, what I should do? I should just go to my iPad and just blow up the picture
right there.
So that'll show you in connection with where they are in the Federation and how close they are to both the neutral zone and then the Romulan space. And then here we'll zoom in a bit more. So there it is again. And yeah, those yellow dots are the neutral zone. But there's I'm assuming that was the nebula maybe that they were hiding in above it.
What's the patriarchy? I don't know what that is.
Where do you see patriarchy, buddy?
Right up to the upper left.
Oh, I see.
Right here.
I don't know.
Right here.
Yeah, the patriarchy. I don't know. This is one of those generic, I would imagine, Starfleet maps.
Wait, well, go back to that map. Didn't he say Deep Space 5 wasn't there? It's right there.
Well, just because the base is there doesn't mean it wasn't decommissioned.
Oh, okay.
And this is an old map. So.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because there's Bob's Big Boy, and that's been closed.
Exactly. Speaking of Bob's, did I get that one? The Red Lady. Kind of the Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah, Rachel Garrett took me Enterprise C. I was like, wait a minute, I know that name. Yeah.
Attaboy, yep.
Well, by the way, have we ever heard of Frontier Day before? Because I'm like, is that a new?
That too? I don't know.
First Contact Day was a thing.
Yeah, I haven't heard Frontier Day that I can remember.
What would be Frontier Day? I'm like, wait,
I don't know. People were saying that it goes back to Star Trek Enterprise era Frontier Day.
Oh, like Zephyr Cochrane or something? Oh, yeah, that's
that thing with the kids, like putting up the Picard. Oh, that was Picard Day.
Remember he started off with a speech at the first Enterprise. But I thought that was supposed to be like first contact anniversary. Like this is the day we launched Warp Drive or something,
Given that it has so much significance and it's still in the future, I would imagine we'll get more of an explanation of Frontier Day. That's just my supposition. But and also I was going to say about the aliens. My belief is, and I could be wrong, but I wonder if they're the same aliens that were from that other dimension in that 6th season episode Schisms, where Riker can't sleep, and it turns out the aliens are taking him out and doing experiments on him, and Beverly does the scan, and it's like, your arm was amputated and reattached, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah,
and I kind of, because it was left open, they didn't they got everybody out and they closed whatever wormhole connected their universes, but it was kind of left open that maybe they'll come back, maybe they won't, and they never resolved it.
Did it bother you that Riker was playing Encyclopedia Brown there when he's like, when you were incapacitated as Locutus, we had a computer virus and we scrambled every third letter? I was like, what is this?
It's fine. Well, she had to send a coded message. It's fair that, again, it was a code that maybe, it was in it was interesting. She said, don't trust anybody in Starfleet, but she used that code. And it's like, well, where would Jean-Luc get the code, given that he wasn't sure what it was? So you're right. That is kind of.
But she would know that he would go to
Riker,
his old friends, starting off.
Wait till she finds out that Jean-Luc's a robot. That's going to piss her off.
Or it might excite her.
In 20 years.
Yeah, who knows, man?
But she might get excited.
Maybe he's fully functional like Data was.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, and all the different ways of pleasuring.
Ooh, yeah. Mike says Frontier Day is supposedly the anniversary of the launch of the Enterprise.
Oh,
okay. For NX-01. Bakula's Enterprise, Archer's Enterprise. So, yes.
Is that the first time that they said it was the 25th century? Because all I kept thinking was Buck Rogers in the beginning. They've been very specific of the timeline since season 1 of Picard. Yes. All right.
So. Oh, and that's funny. Stuart wonders if the aliens could be the final form of the brain-stealing space slugs. I'm assuming
conspiracy. Season 1. I'm going to ask him about that.
We seek coexistence as I've got my throbbing neck.
Or they could be Tusken Raiders because Anakin gave them such a hard time. So
they look like bird people at first with that little bird thing. I was thinking, oh look, it's Earth girls are easy.
The The reason why, if I will, real fast, the reason why I think it is the Schism aliens, they too spoke with the clicking noise, like the Predator. What were you going to say, Mitch? I felt like
I didn't. No, I was going to say when Frakes comes to Terrificon, shameless plug. I'm going to ask him how many times he's been bothered about that freaking mealworms. In fact, I'm going to give him that in a green room. I'm going to give him some gach, and I'm going to give him some of those mealworms. I want to see if he can put them in his mouth and eat them like he did on that episode. Let's see.
Run down the Trek stars that are coming to Terrificon, Mitch. Unless
we got Terry Farrell, Andrew Robinson, Jeffrey Combs, Jonathan Frakes, and maybe two other. Oh, I can't decide which one yet. So keep your eyes or your ears peeled.
That's great,
open, and you'll find out.
That's great. I kept forgetting when I'm.
And if one of them comes to the show, you better be nice to him, because if there's a certain person that we've talked about on this show, you're gonna have to delete some back episodes because I've said some nasty things.
I'm not deleting anything. But that said, no, I hope to interview every Trek person at the very least on Word Balloon, or as you're declaring, if I'm not moderating that Trek panel,
there'll be blood in the streets.
I'll be very disappointed. Exactly, man. Your wife isn't going to recognize you. So,
well, she doesn't now. So,
but what do you know about Trek?
Honey. Come back home.
What do you know about Trek, John?
Come on. What's that?
Exactly.
What do you know about Trek?
I know.
Family Robinson
interview for this
role. I hear you.
Exactly. We're going to be screening candidates. Wayne's up.
I'm sorry. We can get into predictions of what might happen, and I agree with Langley. He's still wondering why the main villain isn't Sela. She's right there. Her motivations make so much sense now that Romulus is gone. I completely agree, and I think it's going to be a reveal.
That's why they did Captain Garrett. They're getting you ready for it. That's
Good
why
point.
she was Enterprise
Good point,
C.
Mitch. I didn't even think of that.
No, I saw as soon as I saw, I go, oh, the Enterprise C is going to be on this episode. I'm like, oh, it's a different timeline because they never told you what happened to Sela after unification.
Right.
She never came back.
Right.
So,
and she was roaming around doing missions for the Romulans anyway, so she may not have been on Romulus, obviously, when it exploded. Then it exploded.
Is that still part of this storyline?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Well, and that's
I don't know.
That is but Mitch, I don't blame you because again, obviously the fallout of the fall of Romulus is kind of there, but they haven't really explained what the status of the Star Empire is. And again, you look at these, maps. Everybody look in. Exactly. Everybody lean in.
Wait a minute. Where'd you get this map? Is this from like this week's Picard show or something?
No, it
was at a place. It was a placemat at the diner he went
to.
No, but is Romulus on there? Does it say the formula? There's Romulus right there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, is like this part of Picard canon. So if the planet's still there, maybe they don't talk about the J.J. Abrams.
What I want to know is how devastating was it? Just because again, you see how big the Romulan Star Empire is. It isn't just one planet. So did that accident ruin the entire empire? I don't think so. And
Klingon Empire.
What's that?
Where's the Klingon Empire?
Stick to this first. Hold on.
Oh, come on, man.
Just relax. Let me finish. Hold on. My point is because really, no. At the end of season 1, big Romulan fleet shows up. Well, if they're completely decimated, where the fuck did all those ships come from?
That's right. They did.
And they haven't explained what's going on with the Star Empire. That said, I agree with you, Mitch. Not where is the Klingon Empire? It's somewhere else in the beta system.
When is the Klingon Empire?
You need what's that?
I'll do you better. Why is the Klingon Empire?
No, but it's true. Like it drives me insane that we're 3 seasons in on Picard, and we should know what's going on in the Klingon.
Don't they have that Bible they used to give the staff? Like this is what the world you're going to be writing in.
Sure. Yeah,
like
but
it's operations.
It's new Trek, Mitch. Everything's out.
Yeah, but it's crazy though because we're sitting there watching and go, "Wait, is this?" And do the writers even know who's on it? Like when Will Robinson shows up, they're not paying attention. They're like, "Wait a minute, he was on this show." Yeah,
given that Worf is going to show up,
yeah,
my assumption is we'll know what's happening with the Klingon worlds. So.
When you talked to John Jackson Miller a couple weeks ago on your brilliant interview tying into the new release, I didn't listen to it, but the new release tying into the new Strange New World book, did he say that Paramount gave him a certain bunch of guidelines like this is canon, this is what you can? Did he mention any of that?
I didn't ask him, but that said, he's been making Trek novels for decades, as has my buddy Mike Friedman as well, Michael Jan Friedman. And no, I think they do give them a Bible, and also their stuff is constantly vetted. Can I say this? Can I say that?
Yeah.
So, no, I think they are scrutinized by people in Paramount that are the keepers of continuity or whatever.
I think it sounded from your interview, John, that it was more like they have the story, they give them more like a plot outline, they send it off to the powers to be, and they say, okay, you can do this, but you can't do that. And then he goes and then writes it. Right. I don't think he was actually given like a per se a Bible.
I don't know. All right, next time I talk to Mike or John, I will ask. Here, Doubt says Akiva and company didn't they tell the Picard staff not to do Klingon stuff due to the modern Klingons being used in disco? Possibly.
Bring that up, yeah.
But again, at the very least, all you need to do is cover it with one sentence. Well, you know, the Klingons are worried about the Romulans too since the Mars incident. Something, or even the Klingons voted not to help the Romulans, although we should have expected that because they hate the Romulans. Something, just a line. You don't have to show them, but just let us know. And again, what's happening with the Ferengis? What's happening with the Andorians? It's just like Star Wars. It's a large galaxy, and again, us nerds, we want to know. We want to know what the hell's going on.
So, do you think 709 is going to get court-martialed, and what's going to happen is Captain Shaw the ship's going to be attacked by whoever's attacking Beverly, so he'll get killed, and she gets to be the captain because she's not going to get out of that.
I don't think that's going to. I would be surprised.
They were smart. Yeah, they keep Shaw around,
and they might do that, but I don't care. And it's such a okay. I mean, it's such the beginning of a story arc of okay, you know, Seven's not getting respect, and by the end of it, all right, well, you know, Captain Shaw's going to go, you know, take us out, Seven. Some bullshit like that. You know it. I mean, again, and that's
I don't see that happening.
Really?
I can't see him. I can't see him doing that unless they kill him. It'll be his ghost that'll say, "Yes, sure." Where's hologram?
Right,
his Force ghost comes back.
Yeah, his Force ghost comes back. Oh, I screwed it up. I should have been nicer, Seven.
I'm going to say the title of the episode, John, was called The Next Generation. Now, I was thinking, that's a callback, meaning the old cast. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute. Maybe this is a launching ground for a new Trek that we were hoping for that has to do with, like, the young version. So you're going to have young Captain Crusher or whatever that guy's name is, Commodore Jack Crusher Jr., I don't know, possibly. And then you got young LaForge. You could get like all the little kids be like the Young Avengers. You can get all
and of course Beverly's kid, you know.
And Riker's got a kid somewhere. They don't talk about.
She's still too young.
Oh, okay.
So
how old is he?
Sperling? Jack.
No, I'm
Jack
saying how old Riker supposed to be on the show? Like in the 70s, 60s?
I know he makes good pizza though.
I know, but I'm just trying to figure out timelines.
Well,
I'm like, how old is everybody now?
You do the math on your time. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Langley says TNG babies.
And there you go. Yeah, that's it. Like
and maybe, man. Again,
I'll do the IDW comic, Tiny Trekkers.
Maybe Deanna being Beta Z. Maybe their pregnancy possibilities extend longer than humans. I don't know. I don't care. This is like the Robins in Batman continuity. You're just gonna give yourself a headache. Just roll with it.
How old is Damien? I don't know.
And Dow wants to know how old Alexander is in the current continuity.
Oh my God, I forgot about Alexander.
I would assume he'd be in his 30s.
Yeah,
he would be
30s easily. They said it was like 20 years ago.
And DS9, he was already a teenager.
Yeah.
Right. That'd be a cool character to bring back. I forgot about it.
Oh, I'd love to see Alexander. I think Alexander's great. I didn't like how they made him klutzy in Deep Space.
Yeah.
But whatever. But no, I liked when he showed up. And I liked
that awkward stage, you know?
Until their ridges really form up.
He's got a gorge like Worf in Insurrection.
Gorge.
Klingon sits.
But yeah.
It's hardly noticeable.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if they do come up with a next generation with all these, you know, Crash LaForge and all these other
Crash LaForge
on one ship?
It's called Lower Deck Part 2.
I'm not against it.
We're really scraping for the bottom of the barrel there. Right?
I would rather see that than Rios, Agnes, Legolas Romulan, and Raffi tooling around and assuming that at the end of the third season that Picard was going to die, and they were going to take over. And thank God there were enough of us that like, we don't like these people. We kind of like crystal balls, but we're not. And I'm hoping Raffi does redeem herself as a character. And I feel terrible saying it because I don't blame any of these actors in terms of the way their characters was written. They're just doing what they're doing their jobs
in the script. That's all.
Having said that, I would watch Next Generation Tiny Trekkers over Disco
over Discovery. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah, brand new characters with no tie-ins to the other crap and continuity error left and right.
There could be a crossover with the universe where Action Cat can be on the bridge of the Enterprise.
You guys are brilliant. Hey, you know what? I mean,
Meteor might.
Has there been a Star Trek novel set like 80 years after Picard? You read all this stuff.
Well, obviously, Discovery is 1,000 years.
No, after Next Generation. There's never been a future one?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Why not now?
That's the current timeline.
It's been long enough.
Well, they should. That was always my argument since hearing about Discovery being in the past and all this other. Yeah, well, in timeline, according to Next Generation. I always thought they should go forward from there. I mean, that was one of the things I always liked. Scott Bakula on Enterprise was okay, but again, they're always going back. Why don't you go forward? Why not forward?
Well, Brandon Braga was asked that on one of the many Trek interview shows, and he said, we thought about that even prior to pitching Enterprise, and it's like, well, what? Like now phasers are tinier. I mean, it's like what would the tech look like? And I think he was overthinking about that stuff. Yeah. And frankly, I do think the galaxy politics would lend itself to, well, now what does everything look like? There was even a good audio drama that was made by fans called Lost Generation, and it was like 30 years after Next Generation timeline, and there was some giant space virus, unlike Disco, that limited Starfleet travel, interplanetary travel. And also the Federation did have a political schism where there was a very fascist faction of the Federation that kind of took over. And the good guys that were left in the Federation were able to pull their resources and come up with one Warp 5 ship that could interplanetarily travel. Nice. And it was a really interesting story. And it was like 30 years after Picard. And they go back to even Deep Space Nine and places.
They could probably retool Andromeda. Because that would give you some idea of, you can have, this is what the Federation was, and then the decline of the Federation, because all civilizations decline.
Discovery went too far into the future. They went 1,000 years, and everything's gone to shit. And it's like, well, that's too much history.
I don't buy the bullshit about the little tiny phasers being smaller. If you have good writers, they're gonna Strange New Worlds is good. Picard first episode here is good. If you have good to better writing,
I agree.
It's gonna.
I noticed they had a new phaser prop that Riker was holding. I go, got to sell those toys. It was like a little more fancier than the ones in the movies they had. But
how about Beverly's phaser rifle? Yeah, it only has 4 blasts and then it needs to be recharged. It's like, aren't these energy like weapons? And shouldn't they?
They're Tesla. They're Tesla phasers, I think.
Yeah, they got recalled. Software issues.
Elon Musk made.
And then I'm like, there's nobody on that ship but just her and that guy. I'm like, they're flying that thing by themselves. I'm like, okay.
Well, it's a small ship.
Okay.
It's a small medical ship.
Wait, it was a small ship, and then that thing that it latched on was even smaller? That had those
the shuttle?
Oh, was it that small?
Yeah, that's a shuttle.
Well, that's
never tell on me. I'm like, how big is that supposed to be at this point? So I don't know.
It seemed like it was only the area where Beverly had all her shit. And the bridge area, and and again,
it's like Rios' ship.
What's that?
Yeah, that's like right.
Rios' ship that was just smaller, compact.
Yes,
that had all those holographic crew members. Why doesn't she have holographic crew? I forget it. Fuck it. I'm not together.
I don't know. Yeah, and as Langley said, a very tiny private ship. Well, another thing too, season 1. All right, I have to go to deep space. I need to get a ship. And immediately gets to La Siena. And now I need to go to deep space. I got to steal, a shuttle to do it.
Star Trek 3.
Because he did it before, and they don't trust his ass anymore. So now he's going to steal one.
Well, it wasn't like Starfleet knew that he got Crystal Ball ship.
Yeah.
Only Raffi knew.
No, it was a little too. I don't know.
Well, but again,
Goofy.
it's I would rather see Federation ships. I'm not a big fan of the La Serenica or whatever the fuck Crystal Ball's ship was. Raffi obviously using that ship for her covert missions and stuff, which is fine. And I didn't mind that Seven took it over when Crystal Balls went back into the into Starfleet and everything. But I like the design of the Titan. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
That was an interesting nitpick of my buddies like Larry Young and John Price that were angry about New Trek, and they're like, I don't like the Titan, and I'm like, why? And the amount of minutia that they do to describe what they don't like, I'm like, all right, whatever.
I was offended on the weight challenge Enterprise D, the fat ship. I'm like, hey, fuck you, man.
Funny.
They had a lot of personal problems. They were going through some difficult times, and they just had to eat. Not all of us could be skinny mini fucking Reliance.
It
There was times where that Galaxy class had to separate because of those.
That's right. They had all those kids on board. Nobody wants the fat ship. I'm like,
Enterprise D shaming. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that made me laugh. And also, I guess they must have bought out Eagle Moss's surplus.
They sell all those toys there. It's like, okay.
That was funny. That was,
and also like the Enterprise. There was a sister ship. She had a sister ship. It blew up, remember? And the Trek's first season, the Enterprise was a Galaxy class, and I could have swore there was a sister Galaxy class ship or something that got blown to bits. But
I know in Deep Space Nine, a Galaxy class ship gets destroyed by the Jem'Hadar.
Yeah,
but that's Deep Space Nine. I don't know.
And then this Titan was a let me get this straight. Was a constellation. What they made it smaller when they put an A on
constellation.
it.
Yeah,
because the nacelles are different. From the old Titan.
Yeah,
and the look is more like a Constitution class.
Yeah,
it has a wider neck going down to the body.
Yeah, the body. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the nacelles are totally different.
All right, I was like, why they changed that model? But who knows? They got to sell some toys.
Mike says the Yamamoto.
That's it, the Yamamoto. Thank you. I remember there was another one, and it was blown up.
Yeah.
I remember it blew up to bits.
Yeah.
Like, there's the Commodore something.
Yep, and they said there were 6 Galaxy ships. The Odyssey was destroyed again on DS.
That's the one. Yep. Look at that. You guys know your stuff.
Enterprise, Yamamoto, Odyssey, Galaxy were 4 of the 6 Galaxy ships we saw.
So those were the fat bitches of the Galaxy that no one wanted to buy.
Yep.
The bird of the Galaxy.
Now, in that bar, when he saw all those Eagle Moss, were they selling them?
Yeah,
yes, that's what.
Guinan was trying to make a buck.
Right. Yeah, nobody wants those.
Nobody wants that for Frontier.
They want the Sovereign class.
That's the one your mom goes to the store. You want the Sovereign class, and she comes home with the Galaxy. Like, Mom, come on! All the guys got the other ship. I don't want the fat ship. Oh, I'm such a loser. My mother doesn't know the right ship to buy.
Damn. Made me laugh. I'm looking for other Easter eggs. Oh, the Fleet Museum. Speaking of ships, we have Voyager supposedly there. Now that it's back from the Delta Quadrant. The Pioneer, I guess, is an original era ship design. Maybe we'll learn more about it when we see Geordi at the Fleet Museum. And at the bottom, it's blurry, but that's the Enterprise A that didn't get blown up.
Oh, Kirk's ship.
Oh, Kirk's second ship. Yeah. So, I think that's it. I mean, I really liked, again, those closing credits, because they explained things that we saw, but it also did give allusions to what's to come. Those notes that we saw on the readouts, I've watched other shows where they played the notes, and it's Pop Goes the Weasel.
Oh, I was wondering. I thought it was a theme to Enterprise.
I thought it was the 5 sounds that you do in Close Encounters.
Oh, beep, 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 beep. I like how Terry Metalis named a planet after himself.
I got no problem with
that one. Yeah,
I got no problem with that. Again, he has said all the right things in all these interviews. And I totally agree with the people that are like, wow, that's a lot of fan service. I got no problem with that, because we're long overdue for fan service for this show.
Exactly right.
And it's fine. It was comfort food. and that's great. And I love that they use the music.
Yep.
I love seeing Starfleet ships, and they're in space dock. Got it. And that's the other thing. Everyone's like LaForge's kid. That's like Sulu's kid in Generations. Them leaving space dock. That's like Star Trek 3.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with all of that. That is Starfleet in action. And that's what's been missing from Picard is the Starfleet of it all.
Do you like the new uniforms they had when they went aboard the Titan?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, there was a new Trek uniform.
I didn't mind.
New badges.
New badges, that's it, yeah.
Mike says that Metalis Prime is actually from Enterprise. Terry did not name that planet. Well, Mike, Terry was on staff in the writer's room for Enterprise. He was Braga's assistant. So it also easily could have been Metalis.
Because that's a hell of a coincidence if it's not.
It's fine. By the way, he's Greek, so he gets a pass from me. And no, anything you do, Terry, that's fine. Meyasu. That's all right. But what else did I want to say? Oh, and then I think this is a telltale sign of who Rafi's. Who do you guys think you know who Rafi's intelligence contact is?
No, I'm not going to guess. I don't know.
Section 31, Dr. Bashir.
Michelle Yeoh?
I'm going Bashir.
I think it's Worf, and especially this message: do not seek blame, do not seek anger. And also when the intelligence person says, "We're at war, you're a warrior."
Oh, okay.
And that's a Worf line.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we're going to get Worf.
Didn't catch it.
But I could be wrong.
No, you're not.
How many episodes is this, John? 10?
Yes.
8?
Yes. 10.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I figure they're going to introduce each character on every episode, then bring them all together for the big finale.
Well, of course. No, 100%. But that's okay. I want to know separately what everybody's doing. That's okay.
Excuse me.
Pleasure.
It's all right.
Thank you.
Oh, it's knocked you out of your chair.
I know. Sneeze off camera.
No, I'm excited. I don't mind them right now. I'm okay with the pacing. First episode, you got to set shit up, and what I've heard is, without any spoilers, the first 4 episodes are kind of a mini arc, and then lead into the bottom 6. So we'll see.
Have they screened these for any critics? Do you know?
Yes. Yes,
they did. Oh,
a lot of, and it's very interesting. They sent it out not only to critics that have been incredibly supportive of the show, but actually several of the on-record haters of New Trek got at the very least the first 6 episodes.
And we didn't get one?
I was going to say, why didn't we get any?
Because nobody knows what the fuck we're doing. That's what I'm saying, man.
Why are we doing this every week then?
I have no idea. I thought this was like some kind of therapy thing.
David Silly says, I was a very shy kid in a small town. The Next Generation cast were friends I got to visit once a week, and seeing them back, wow, fantastic. Can't wait to ask Frakes 1,000 questions at Terrificon. You're right, David.
Right. God bless you, David. Thank you.
I agree. And man, it was so great seeing Riker and Picard just hanging out and being friends, and just it was great. It was.
I like Captain Picard's little old man hat, that little Al Cap thing, because that's what he wears. That's what he wears in real life. When I met him in 2010, and he went out to go to the pub to watch the World Soccer match, he had that little English hat on. I was like, "Oh, look, he looks so cute."
He had the same hat in like Vegas too.
He likes that hat. That's his personal wardrobe, Mr. Stewart.
It was cool.
Don wants to know if anyone has pulled a Harrison Ford solo thing that they'd only come back if their character was killed off. Oh, that's a Leonard Nimoy thing. Let's not forget in Star Trek 2. I don't know. I don't think so. And if they did, I don't think it's been made public. And we'll see. We'll see.
I think Will Wheaton said he didn't want to come back, and that was like it, right? Just that cameo.
Is that true?
From what I heard, he wasn't looking forward to coming back. They had to lure him in for that, like, you'll be a traveler or whatever, and that's it.
Right, at the end of season 2, yeah. No, I watched The Ready Room. He had Crusher and Picard on. I also watched they produced, I think, for over-the-air TV, like a half-hour promo show to get people to subscribe to Paramount Plus. And he did interviews with Gates and Sir Patrick. as well. No, I think Will Wheaton is so enthusiastic. I'm sure he would love it. But given that he's a traveler and what they did with him last season, that it, we know what he's doing. And also, maybe that would complicate the story with this other son. And maybe they'd feel obligated to have, Wesley and Jack, have some sort of conversation as well. So, he's right. He's like, so Captain Shaw basically just hangs out in his quarters during any conflict. Yeah, for a by-the-book guy, he's sleeping, he's eating, he's anywhere but the bridge. Anywhere but the bridge.
Well,
got that big window.
It's a small amount of time. He went to sleep right after dinner.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck
You
this.
should
I
have
don't want
drugged
these guys
him.
on my shit.
Didn't he take the wine with him after he left?
Yeah.
Like he left with the bottle?
Yeah, Picard gave him that bottle. I was like, I like this instead. I'm like, fuck you, man. What a creepy.
He has a drinking problem.
He
Lanley
does.
thinks,
but again,
we
he's
might
not
see
wrong.
Will Wheaton later. And he interpreted it as the night shift. Sure.
Maybe he'll come around and save the day or something at the end.
And Stuart is, again, like we were saying earlier, is Jack a son or is he a clone?
Mm-hmm.
I still
Son
say
of a
clone.
Or he could be adopted.
Yeah, he got drunk. That's why he didn't hear anything. He was sleeping it off. Even though he got that big window that has a view of the front of the ship.
Yeah, the nebula. It's like,
hey, turn that off, man.
Exactly.
Put a shade down. Oh my Christ! How'd we get here? I gotta go to work.
What are we doing here?
When he's put his uniform on as he's coming in, he's like sleeping in the next room. I was like, is his office right there? Come on.
Maybe. Well, that's like Picard's ready room was right next to the bridge.
Sleeping it
I
off.
don't know. Vic, I don't trust that captain. Okay.
No.
I don't know, man. Again, after all those Easter eggs we got with the computer readouts at the end of the episode, they did one of those later this season on Picard. And Shaw's coming back, and we'll see what happens.
See, I didn't get any of that stuff. They didn't show. I watched all.
We didn't get that up here.
I didn't get a ready room. I didn't get any teaser for next week. I'm like, what are you talking about? There was no.
You're right, Mitch, and maybe because again, I obviously have a serious problem with my obsession with Star Trek. Well, many serious problems.
Just one of them, sure.
Yeah,
we're going to
but the one for the purposes of this broadcast, yes. Yeah. But I did rewatch it again to see if I missed anything, and also to grab some screen caps. And you're right. I don't think they did show it Thursday or Friday, but it is theirs today. So if you are curious to see some snippets of, and again, they don't spoil anything. We know Amanda Plummer's there because we saw the trailer. You'll see a little bit of Worf in action, and you hear Captain Shaw, and also you see a fleet of starships heading to something. We'll see.
Yeah, we didn't get that because I watched it again up here and nothing.
Well, because it's Canada, Wayne.
True.
Yeah.
I'm not to break it to you, man. Mm-hmm. But Wayne, and again, just an aside, because I know these guys aren't watching it. I'm loving the arc.
It reminds me of Earth too. Like the same concept of there's issues. You don't know who did what. Are they going to make it? Are they not going to make it?
Earth 2.
Oh,
that show with that big Winnebago thing in the 70s?
Oh, no, that's Arc 2.
That's
Arc 2. Oh, wow.
Earth 2 had Clancy Brown.
Wrong Arc. Yeah.
Earth 2 wasn't that like a Spielberg-produced show or something like that?
What, the Arc?
No,
Earth 2.
Earth 2 might be. Might be.
Okay, come on, Mitch. Keep up.
We're
going.
Here's the premise for the arc. It's a colony ship. Something's wrong on Earth. They're going to inhabit a new planet. And in the first 10 minutes of the first episode, some sort of calamity happens that wipes out virtually the entire command crew, except for 3 lowly lieutenants. And they've got to take over running the ship. And all the other people are civilians that were going to build this new colony. Yeah. And they lost like 300 or 400 of what was the crew, and now they're down to 100 or so. They have a limited amount of water, a limited amount of food, and their propulsion might have been screwed up. And the first episode ends, forgive me, everybody, minor spoiler, with a murder. So was it sabotage? Was it a natural occurrence? There's some sort of weird plot going on the ship.
Can't they do a crossover with Lieutenant Joe Kenda and find out who killed?
Yeah.
that
It's
person.
good. It reminds.
No.
I said, unlike Earth 2, I'm like, it's poor man's Galactica without the Cylons, and that's fine. That's interesting.
I'm gonna watch it now.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
no,
you.
it's really interesting because it's basically, what do you do with, you're putting the kids in charge of a ship, and they have to try to figure out problems.
How old are these kids? We're not talking like a teenage crew thing, are we?
No, not teenage, but
oh, you scared me for a minute. I was like, oh god.
No, they're all young, but they are younger people.
There's no senior. There's no senior
CW
staff
show
left.
with all teenagers?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And
they're all
it's
taking their shirts off and they're hot. Yeah.
Well, no, there are a couple.
No, it's not from the CW.
Exactly. Well, it's as Lange asked. It is Dean Devlin, the guy who created Stargate and Independence Day.
Okay.
It's his and the librarians. It's his creation. I like it. It's shot in Belgrade, which is interesting because it has a very international cast. At first, I'm like, all right, it's more, and I love it, Wayne. You know I do. More great Canadian science fiction, but no, it's not. It's shot in Belgrade,
It's
so
like,
I'm more of exotic. Good.
There was another series that was shot like in that area too. I forget its name. I'll figure it out.
Well, of course, a lot of
Jeffrey Combs was on it.
A lot of fantasy and horror is shot like in Belgrade and Estonia and places like that too.
Prague,
but yes, Langley, it is on Sci-Fi Channel. Absolutely, yes, correct.
Oh, I thought it was on Peacock.
It's also on Peacock because
it's on CTV Sci-Fi.
What's that?
It's on CTV Sci-Fi up here.
Canadian Sci-Fi.
Oh, okay. Canadian TV.
What was the last episode of Quantum Leap? Because I think I'm caught up, but what was
I'll
the last
confess
episode?
I'm at least 2 episodes behind, but I still love it, and I've just been too busy. But I'll get to it, and I'm still digging it. Go ahead.
What?
It's been delayed.
What has it?
Yeah, because there wasn't a new episode this week, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Because you know, now with streaming and DVRs, I wonder what the importance is of swoops months like May and February used to be, because several shows were on hiatus this week, and it made no sense to me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The show I was thinking of that's like filmed in that area is called Pandora. If you watch that was also on Sci-Fi.
Mark Altman's show. It was on CW down here.
Yeah, on Sci-Fi up here.
Yeah, that's Mark Altman's sci-fi ship show.
Right.
So, and as I understand it, I don't think they've released the latest season yet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I know they made it because when I talked to Mark, they were just finishing it up.
Because I know Jeffrey Combs complained about it when he had that one role on it. He was talking about it in Vegas. He said, I don't even know why I was there.
Well, because Altman, who's the showrunner, loves Jeff Combs. So, this is interesting. Louise goes, is it me or all sci-fos these days really dark? Like John's place when he streams. Is it there to cover the latest lack of set design? Well, for myself, yes. Yes, it is. And also, my back sucks, and I don't have a good chair. And if I sit for more than an hour on some of these chairs, it really hurts my back. I could go to the walls that have all my great commission sketches and stuff like that. But I really got to go to Office Depot and buy an ergonomic chair.
You can do one of those fake backgrounds from now on.
Green screen. You're right.
This is all fake behind me.
Yeah, exactly. Do one with your bathroom in the background, your door open and see your toilet.
Hold on. You want to see my toilet? Hold on.
No.
Exactly. No, I was kidding.
No. It's when the door opens slowly.
Turn it the other way so we can see the dead body hanging up in the corner.
Just on the other side of the Spider-Man, and you can see the light reflected in the Spider-Man strips. That's the bathroom. The light is on in the bathroom. That's going to be the title of my book. Hold on, stand by.
You need some nuts near there, John. You want some nuts?
Why are you eating pieces of cod?
Exactly.
I just have them here downstairs.
That's fine. No, and I agree with Weez. Is like he's not trying to be mean, but no, you're absolutely right, man. No, they are. It is true. It's like in space, nobody pays the light bill.
No, I thought that this week on the opening Picard when they were aboard the bridge of the Titan. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's so dark in there. You kind of trip over stuff like, you know how there's little steps when they come down from the bridge to the helms thing? I'm like, what's oh geez, I'm out, you know.
Who left the phaser on the floor? God
that was nighttime setting. You have your daylight mode.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's true too.
In
You're not
space,
wrong.
it's always bright.
But I have a feeling it's not going to matter, and every time we see the bridges, they're going to be dark. That's just new Trek, man.
No, the hallways are bright. The hallways are bright. When they walk down the hallways, they're well lit.
True.
As soon as you go to the bridge, it's like you're in a submarine. It's like,
but it was like you to see everything.
Next gen, it was like we're on the Lido deck of like the Hilton, and then Deep Space Nine got a little darker. And Enterprise, it was a submarine. I mean, there was pitch black. And I used to, with my faders in at my radio station and even in my house, I'd be like, okay, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Battlestar Galactica, way down.
Discovery, it's like, it's wide enough to put a football field on the bridge, So,
well, and they got the turbo lift that's like one of those
roller coaster,
like the ski lifts or the trams that are in the mountains and stuff that are on cable cars. It's like it's a goddamn spaceship. They don't have that much space.
Which ship that was well lit? The Orville. That was a well lit ship.
But you got to say, there's something wrong with Pike's cabin. That it's so huge that it has a fireplace. He can cook.
I know. Yeah. It's like that baby grand piano they had that time.
That man and his hair deserved that
big hair.
Quarters, yeah.
He needs that curved ceiling just to get his hair in.
I still don't understand why Jack Crusher has a British accent. And he even says,
he's British, John. Come on.
Why did Jean-Luc Picard have a British accent?
Yeah, but you it's environment. That's how you, and maybe Picard's voice was the only male voice he heard growing up. I have no idea. But Vic wants to know, do we think we'll get any Archer era Enterprise? I really hope that as they realize how much we want to see these legacy actors and characters, that we do get a Scott Bakula comeback of some sort. Maybe not the entire cast. I have, again, they seem to be cheap. It was so funny. Steve Shives and his co-hosts were saying, because Michael Dorn, like they have come after Michael Dorn a couple times and really lowballed him on money. And he's like, no. And they're like, man, I hope Michael Dorn is getting the most money for his career and he's milking the shit. And at the very end, at least, he walks away with a nice paycheck because he's back. And I do. The more I see him on interviews, the more I love that guy. He is so cool. Have you met him, Wayne?
Oh, I have. He's a nice guy. And I think the only cons he does is the Vegas con.
Oh no, he was in Connecticut a couple years ago, but yeah, he's got a real dry sense of humor because I tried messing around with him and he wasn't taking it. He was like, whatever. He's got a jet. He likes talking about his planes. He's a pilot, so he was talkative about that stuff. Oh.
And we might see Janeway. I mean, my God, they certainly name dropped her, so it wouldn't surprise me.
We got Janeway on the other show, which
right?
Is
Chakotay and Paris.
But that's the thing. Prodigy is around the Picard timeline, so we could see Admiral Janeway. I mean,
why can't we get a holodeck doctor? Why can't we get Picardo to show up?
Well, and Mitch, I'm so glad you mentioned the holodeck because that was another.
Now that all of them would have that medical doctor on the ships.
Well, they had so many problems with it in the past.
Yeah, but this is like years later, so they might have fine-tuned it.
Did I not put it up? There it is.
Just give him a chance to come back.
This readout, I think, explains how we're going to get Moriarty back.
Yep.
Because this is like there, and again, I don't know where this readout is happening, but it is interesting. Yeah, so in 10 forward. And I also suspect that might be how we see Lore come back, is in holodeck fashion. And also you might have noticed that the safety protocols, as it says at the bottom, are
offline.
So we'll see. But Langley said,
by the way, where's the Enterprise? Oh, Worf's flying it, right? Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, I don't know about that, but they did mention they're on the Enterprise F and it's about to be decommissioned, which suggests to me that ultimately they will find themselves on the Enterprise F.
Because I was like, where are those readouts? Is that supposed to be the Titan or is that the Enterprise?
We don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, is Whoopi Goldberg making another appearance? I thought that was the big thing. I talked to Whoopi, and she's going to be on season 2. And they were like, "Yeah!" I'm like,
they were all just on an episode of The View with.
Yeah. That was cute.
Man.
That was a cute little segment. Well, I would assume that if she was going to be on the show, why wasn't she on that first episode when they're at 10 Forward in L.A.? They're at Guinan's bar.
The finale? I don't know.
No. This first episode.
No, I'm saying maybe they're saving her appearance for like one big goodbye, like a mash. They take off and Riker spells out goodbye in pizzas.
Again, it's you don't trust anyone in Starfleet. You would think that maybe, and again, I'm not trying to spend their money, but that they would have had Whoopi on, because again, given Whoopi's just her character's background, you would think she would be useful in this hunt for Beverly and trying to find out what the hell's going on. I don't know. We'll see.
We should wait till next week to find out.
We will. Well, we'll certainly find out next week. Do you want to wrap up, Francis? Is that a cue?
No, I'm just saying.
No, wasn't there something else you wanted to
shut up? I'm kidding. What now?
No, you said you wanted to talk about
Ant-Man.
Quantum Leap.
If you want, no. Actually, what I said was like Franco was asking earlier, what should I have watched for tonight? And I'm like, well, again, Quantum Leap. And like I said, you don't have to watch the arc, but I know Wayne and I are watching it. But that said, like I said at the end, I'm like, there's plenty to talk about regarding Star Trek. I don't mind if this is purely a Star Trek show. You guys saw Ant-Man and the Wasp without number 3, without spoiling, because I do intend to see it. What were did you like it? Was it great? Was it?
I liked it. I didn't love it.
I liked it. I would have edited out the opening part and the ending part.
Really?
Because I thought it took me out of the movie. You really didn't need it.
Oh.
There was parts you could have just stripped it right out, and it still would have been a good movie.
What do you think, God Nuts?
I think Henry Cavill as Hyperion was the biggest surprise of the day. No, I liked it. I still can't believe I live in a world that they've made. Is
he making fun, or did he actually fucking spoil?
No, he's not. No, all right. The fact that we live in a world that has 3 Ant-Man movies. I told that to Ordway on the way out the door. I was like, did you ever think you'd see an Ant-Man movie
once?
Great, though. It's insane, but so you can't. The fact that it's even here, I'm like, well, you gotta just love that we've done that.
I like the actor who was Kang. His performance was really nice, not over the top.
No,
even when he got upset, it was very. And I love the fact that they gave Kang his comic book look.
Yeah,
like even though it was the CGI blue face, but they still gave him that look that he was Kang.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. He's having a moment, that actor, because he's the bad fighter in Creed 3.
That's next week. Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Or
next week is in Creed.
2 weeks.
You're wrong. The movie that will top all box offices, Cocaine Bear, is out next week.
Yeah, fun fact, he plays the Cocaine Bear.
There you go.
Cocaine Bear has the bad Han Solo from Solo, Ray Liotta's last movie, What a Way to Go Out, on the blow, and the guy that was in the poor man's Ice Cube that was in Obi-Wan Kenobi that we were picking on months ago, who kept like every time he did a line he gestured. I'm like, that's that guy. He's in that show
also
now.
The 2 actors from The Americans, the 2 lead actors are in it.
The girl Felicity,
Carrie Russell and Griff Rice Davies,
and directed by Elizabeth Banks,
right?
Yeah. I'm telling you, Cocaine Bear is going to rule at the box office.
Based on a true story.
Yes, it is. But also, I am interested in that kind of movie, and even 80 for Brady and how they perform, because they're not tentpole movies, they're not spectaculars, and that's really the litmus test right now in today's movie world. In terms of what else are you going to want to see beyond the Marvel movies, beyond the avatars and things. And
what's opening up this Wednesday for one day only before it hits straight to video, Winnie the Pooh, Blood for Honey.
No. They show that here at a special screening, but one of those not Fandango, but one of those.
Fathom.
Yeah, ours is this Wednesday.
Fathom. It was sold out, and I talked to a kid who went to it. The entire theater was just screaming and cheering and all that. And I mean, this is like a really low budget movie.
Horror always does well.
Winnie the Pooh.
Horror always does well. And I even read an article this week that they've already greenlit the sequel and that it's going to have a bigger budget.
Oh,
And it's smart. Hey, man, even that Banana Spliffs horror movie from a couple years
I loved it.
That's
hilarious.
Fun. It was fun.
Anyway,
one of the things I did like when I saw Ant-Man, I went to go see it at Alamo Draft House, and one of the things they did was they gave us a very small menu and a magnifying glass.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which was a lot of fun.
That's cute.
Yeah, a little magnifying glass, little menu. So I'm like, oh, this is cool.
My 85-year-old mother saw 80 for Brady last weekend, and she loved it. She thought it was fantastic, but she's not going to go see Quantumania. But she saw that.
I talked to, as podcast listeners know, Gigantic Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, man, I'm telling you, if I had the money, all I'd do is make movies catering to senior citizens right now. And I'm like, you're right. He's like, because they're the last generation that still wants to go to the movie theater.
All I know is, why don't you just get 4 golden retrievers, all female, animate their voices like they do with Babe, and call it the Golden Retriever Girls? It writes itself.
Shut up, Blanche.
Yeah.
Rose, I had a rough night.
Rose is the stupid one that walks in the walls and shit and everything. Yeah,
exactly. And they could have a crossover with Scooby and Scrappy Doo.
See? But yeah, Quantumania, real quick about that one is, my son did say he saw it too. And I said, what'd you think? And he's 22, going on 23. And he said, yeah, these are all the shitty Marvel characters. There's no good ones. Nobody gives a crap. I go, whoa. We won't have that blasphemy in this house, young man. And he said, dude, Ant-Man, Black Panther, where's Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, the Spider? I go, they still have the Fantastic Four and X-Men warming up in the bullpen, buddy. They got bigger characters coming. That's okay that we're doing the minor ones now. It's all right.
That was the problem with Phase 4.
Yeah.
It was a lot of setup. And again, I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 yet. But that said, I understand. And in fact, my buddy Sal Crivelli from Comic Pop, I was talking to him on Friday, and I'm like, what'd you think of Ant-Man? And he's like, it was fine. And I laughed because I go, that was my attitude with Doctor Strange too, where I'm like, it was all right. It wasn't amazing. And that's okay. But what
I'm finding with all these Marvel movies is, like, I'll say, like, Ant-Man, I liked it, didn't love it. And there's some people that absolutely loved the movie. And there's some people that absolutely hate the movie. There's such a wide spectrum of what people are liking, not liking within Marvel. But that's kind of what I like about Marvel.
But the expectation, though, is, and I don't know what mythical financial high bar Marvel is putting for these kind of Marvel movies, but in general, another thing that Sal and I talked about, all these assholes are like, it needs to make $1 billion. And it's like, you guys are idiots and assholes because those are such exceptions of Endgame and the Star Wars sequels and the ones, and even Avatar 2. And it's like, you can't expect that with every one of these fucking movies.
And the funnier thing is, Doctor Strange didn't make like maybe 400 million. The first Ant-Man made about 350 million, and those were successes because it's like, holy crap, it made that much money. Even first Thor, first Captain America, none of them broke like $500,000 really. I mean, I don't know why everyone suddenly thought everyone's $1 billion movie. They're not going to be.
I read something that didn't Ant-Man make like over 100 something.
The first couple days it made like 130. Yeah, they were like, oh wow,
they're fine. They'll do fine. They'll do another Ant-Man.
I still can't believe that Avatar 2 made $2 billion because I saw that and go, are you kidding me? So
they need to learn the lesson of the original cast Trek movies that Harv Bennett came in. First movie, $40 million to make. The real reason why it was $40 million was they folded in the money they were spending on Star Trek Phase 2, the aborted TV series they were going to do prior to making the movie. And that's why it cost so much. And Harv Bennett comes in and goes, I can make you hit Star Trek movies for a quarter of what you're spending. And most of his movies were around $10 to $20 million to make. And they'd make $80 or $90 million. And that's a profit. And that's the problem. Don't spend $200 or $300 million on these Phase 4 movies like you were on Endgame and these other ones. And I don't know what the budget is. I'm just throwing those numbers out. But that's the problem.
But in today's viewership, the way things are viewed is maybe not everybody's going to see Ant-Man in the movie, but then you have Disney Plus and you have TBS where they'll show up eventually or whatever, and they'll run on. by the time you get to, the Avengers with Kang and stuff like that, that's when you're built up the audience, because that's what happened with all these other phases. Not everybody went to go see them in the movie theater. You're seeing them on Disney, you're seeing them wherever, and then you're watching them multiple times, and then you're leading up to that Avengers Infinity War and stuff like that.
But as a consequence, Disney's losing money and cuts 7,000 jobs.
Yeah.
Well, they were just picking up trash at the parks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Scott Snyder used to do that. Watching, man.
Hey, one of the things you didn't talk about Super Bowl last week was the Flash trailer, and now I understand. I tell you, out of all the trailers, and I love my Indiana Jones, but I'll tell you what, I was more excited to see that goddamn Flash movie because Michael Keaton showed up. And here's the deal. I wasn't expecting to, because I know all the trouble they've had with that Ezra Miller, and I'm like, just replace him. Now that I've seen how they're filming it, you couldn't have replaced that kid. He's playing two parts. I'm like, that would have been billions of dollars to go CGI that kid out of there. But
not only that, why if you're trying to avoid all this problem with Ezra Miller and calling it the Flash, why don't you just call it Batman and Friends? Because that's
I know, right?
Batman and Friends.
That's what it was, right?
Or Batman. See, because you got Affleck and you got Keaton in there. Yeah. He looked great, man.
And isn't there some internet trolling rumors about Grant Gustin winding up as the Flash at the end of this thing?
Oh, that would be so great. Man, and there's another thing we can talk about. We're at the beginning of the last season of Flash, and essentially, I know Superman and Lois is going to continue, and Gotham Knights is premiering. That said, this really is the end of the Arrowverse, it seems.
Yeah.
And Ezra Miller showed up in that crossover.
Right.
So, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Batman. No, but I mean, it looked fantastic. Keaton looked great. I hope he's in it more than just like a couple minutes at the end. But
it kind of looks like he is.
Yeah.
Him as Bruce Wayne and Batman Beyond would be perfect.
Right. Or apparently that's what the Batgirl movie was supposed to be like. That he was the older Batman.
I'm sorry, Mitch.
No, I said they scrapped that Batgirl movie. It was supposed to be that scenario where he was teaching the younger Barbara Gordon or whoever it was.
Or do Dark Knight Returns.
You see the helmet and everything with the ear, and then you hear the music. Da, 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 it gave you goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I love his delivery. Yeah.
One of my guys, Dan Shannon, who has a couple of YouTube shows, he's like, those Tim Burton Batman movies suck. Why bring Keaton back? And it's like, because he's Batman for an entire generation, because it's an alternate universe, and because it's a great fucking idea. That's why.
Did you hear John Leguizamo come out and say that they used him to get Keaton to be in that Spider-Man movie? That Leguizamo was cast to be the Vulture in the Tom Holland movie, and at the last minute they called him up and said, "Hey, we're going to get Keaton because he's a bigger name, and he's going to be the Vulture, but we'll give you a smaller part in the movie." He's like, "No, fuck you, man. I'm not doing that." But I
don't blame him. I don't blame him.
It would have been a different movie because Michael Keaton really did sell that picture.
It was great. No, he was great. And also, he's the right age to play that bald kind of Vulture.
Yeah.
And I like that he was Liz Shaw's dad. I thought it was great. The only thing that sucks is that we didn't get more Liz Shaw because I like her.
Liz Allen.
I don't mind Zendaya. I think she's fine. And actually, I like Zendaya. They've evolved Zendaya than where she was in that first Tom Holland movie. And I really hated her in that first Tom Holland movie.
Yeah.
It's like she's just too much of an asshole to be an asshole.
Yeah.
So,
they should make a Batman versus Vulture movie. That'd be awesome.
I'm for it.
Versus Birdman.
Birdman. Yeah, it was Birdman. Yeah, we already saw that movie.
Great movie.
And Shazam comes out in a couple weeks. Ordway got invited to the LA premiere.
I'm so glad to hear that. Oh, is he going to go?
No, he's got to pay for his own flight. See, they don't tell you that stuff. It's like you can go hang out with the actors in Los Angeles. Oh, by the way, you got to go buy your own round trip airfare. It's like, what the fuck? You're invited to a party. Bring your own cake.
Come and give me the ticket since I didn't get one.
He should build in a couple store signings in LA to pay for it.
There you go.
I'm serious.
He never goes to the West Coast.
That's what I'm saying.
There in like 20 years.
Maybe he can swing a couple. Tell him that.
Maybe. I will tell him that.
That's John. To let him know that's John's suggestion.
Well, he asked me. He's like, "You want to go on a road trip?" I'm like, "I'm not driving cross country to go see fucking Shazam." No.
Planes, trains, and Shazam.
But I have to.
Shazam. Yeah.
I have not found a reason, and I'll confess, I have Avatar 2 as a screener for my SAG Award voting. I had Wakanda Forever and also Disney Plus, so I didn't need to see those in the theater. I have to say that this coming spring's movies, starting with this weekend with Ant-Man and the Wasp, there are a lot of movies that I'm willing to see in the theater because of our love of this stuff. And I'm interested enough in Shazam and seeing it. I want to know what happened to Sinbad being in the second movie, because when they were doing those DC online events, those weekends, he was all over the place. And the rumor was he was going to be Uncle Marvel. He was going to be Uncle Dudley.
Oh,
and I'm like, that sounds great. I wonder if they rewrote the script and they abandoned it, but he's not in any of the trailers.
No, maybe The Rock fired him. Maybe The Rock told him
yeah,
to job.
Well, no, but that's Black Adam. That's not Shazam.
I know, but I'm saying he fucked up so much.
Did you see the article this week that went a little further on why things pulled up between Warner's and The Rock?
Yeah.
Say it again. I missed it. Mitch
he demanded.
No, go ahead, Johnny. You tell him.
I'm sorry, buddy. He demanded a tequila bar at the world premiere. Yep. And I think that costs a lot of money, or maybe it was his tequila. I don't know.
It was his tequila.
There you go. And it's just, it reminded me of what I told you guys about with David Lee Roth when he took over Howard Stern's show. And like the first month, he's like, I had all these demands, like the writers for rock concerts. I want fresh plants in the studio every day, blah, blah, blah. And then the ratings came out. They sucked. And his first day in after the ratings, all the plants are gone. All his demands shut up, sit down, and fucking broadcast.
No, when you walked into the movie theater to see Black Adam, they handed you The Rock's energy drink. So he has this energy drink, like, full of caffeine. So then we go up the escalator, and when we get off the escalator, there's these waiters and waitresses there with trays with this vodka drink with, like, black raspberry and tequila or whatever it was. It was The Rock's tequila. So one hand you got the energy drink, the other hand you got this tequila alcohol they're giving you. And I'm like, what else is they going to give us that The Rock had? But you're right. It was all, here, sell my shit. Make sure that's the thing. Yeah. What a goof.
Dowd has a question for you, Franco. Do you know if anything you were already worked on from when you did Billy Batson and Shazam was used for this Shazam movie?
Doubtful. And if they did, they probably still wouldn't put my name in the credits because they just didn't.
Well, if you see something that is from you, we need to get you in touch with Howard Chaykin's lawyer, because Howard Chaykin's lawyer has made the difference for a lot of creators who are like, by the way, that was mine. And to their credit, Warner's in DC has cut checks. Now, in today's, we're cutting all the budget we can to save money. Maybe they won't be as magnanimous, but unlike Marvel, in fact, I just had Dan Jurgens on a couple weeks ago, and obviously we're all thrilled that Booster Gold is getting made, at least right now. And I just asked, I go, hey man, I don't want to get in your business, but obviously we saw Booster on Smallville. We've seen him in the cartoons. Like, have you been paid? He's like, yes. And I'm like, all right, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't even know Tiny Titans was in that Teen Titans Go movie until after it came out. So, but the contract we signed doesn't afford us any of that stuff because we were on the kids side of stuff. So that was all, And also, if you really want to help me out, on Tuesday, the 21st, Faye and the Moon comes out. So all bookstores and comic shops, go get it.
A gentle video reminder very quickly. Coming February 21st, it's Faye and the Moon, the latest graphic novel from Franco and the Saturn Sisters. Faye. There we go.
February 21st.
That was fast.
Well, we didn't need the whole minute.
Are the Saturn Sisters going to be at C2E2?
Say it again.
Are the Saturn Sisters going to be at C2E2?
Yes, as a matter of fact, next weekend on the 25th, they're signing at Oh Yeah Comics in Skokie, and they will be at Emerald City Con, and then we will all be at C2E2, and we actually have a panel for Faye and the Moon and Little B, the publisher, on Friday. I forget what time of C2E2. So now I definitely have to buy a plane ticket, and we just got word also, right, about the Oh Yeah podcast panel on Sunday
morning. Yep. Yeah, Sunday morning at 11. That'll be the Oh Yeah panel.
Get ready for a question about ghost stories.
I have
I'll be there.
I have 3 other panels happening on C2E2 of things that actually will be happening at C2E2. Wayne and your ghost stories. Shut up. Shut up, Wayne. I'm kidding. I know I'm an evil man. I got a lot of anger. But no, I'm hosting 8 Billion Genies for Charles Soule.
Oh, nice.
Ryan Brown. I am also doing the Svengoolie panel. I'm doing the Oh Yeah panel. And then Chris Arant is doing kind of a Meet the Press panel. And myself and several other, I hate the word, comic book pundits. Do I hate influencer or pundit more? It's kind of a toss-up. Pundit. I think I hate influencer more, but I do hate pundit as well. But that's going to be fun, and I'm just on the panel. But so yeah, I'm doing 4 panels.
Oh, and here's a sneak peek, but there might be something Svengoolie happening, comic wise. So I'm in talks to do stuff.
That's awesome. I'm psyched. I when it comes to the Svengoolie, our and I don't know if that'll be part of the regular Svengoolie panel or not, but I'm always like I want Mitch I want Rich Coase or the Con to ask me. I don't want to be like, hey, I'd be happy to do Svengoolie again, but I got the word. Stand by, everybody. I'm going to zoom in on Wayne.
What's happening there? Who's gonna be there?
March 31st.
That's just the general.
Wow, that's a long show. March 31st to April 21st.
Right. I was just like, wait a minute. Well, it's April. Okay. I was like, wow, it's a month long. It's like Carnival. It's like in Venice. It's a month long celebration.
Langley asked the question when it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Langley, come on out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wayne.
There we go. So again, C2E2, March 31st through April 2nd. Mitch, Terrificon dates again.
July 28th to the 30th here in Uncasville, Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun.
Can't wait to see if I'm invited to that.
Very excited.
You are invited to that because you even did the poster for it already. But as I normally do,
be there.
I drop a little bit at a time every week. I mean, because if I did it all at once, I'd have nothing to talk about for 5 months. So
that's why I don't want to mention any other names other than the Trek people. Yeah. But I do know that many of my good friends, beyond the people represented here on the Trek Watch show, will be there, and it's going to be great. And we're always going to have fun.
I really do like Terrificon. It's quickly become one of my favorite shows, and especially, you know what really makes it? The icing on the cake or the milkshake on the cake at 3 a.m. Is what I like. You know,
is watching my wife beat me up for drinking milkshakes at 3 a.m. and then snoring all night.
And then the next morning when she yells at me for keeping you up.
No. It's going up to the Madonna slot machines at 3 a.m.
I've done that
with Mitch.
With Elvis. Oh yeah, that's right. Wayne and I were sitting there bored because there's like it doesn't close, and you don't want to go back to your room because there's nothing there but go to bed. So it's like, let's go.
Your wife is going to yell at you.
No, she's sleeping because she worked all day, and I'm just like, hey, let's play because it's my one weekend a year I get to go out and pretend I'm, young swinging guy again. But no, actually, in 3 weeks I got the GamerCon, so I lied.
Hey, awesome, man!
I got to do that at Mohegan Sun. So if you like video games and Pokemon and all that stuff, March 18th and the 19th, come to Connecticut GamerCon at the Mohegan Sun. Yeah.
Excellent.
And I got anime people there. That's a big thing with the kids. They like the anime. It's all anime voices and stuff. So.
Oh, I got to tell you guys some secret podcast possible news. Nothing firm yet.
Well, let's end the show and talk.
Yeah, let's tell the people out there they're not invited to know. So
yeah, sorry guys, everybody, we apologize. All right, so we'll be back next week. Might be early, the week of the 27th. It may not be next Sunday.
When does Mandalorian come back? Next week?
Couple weeks.
Right?
March 1st. March 1st.
Yeah. So 2 weeks. That's what I'm saying, man. No, there's going to be an avalanche of shit to talk about. In the weeks ahead, and we certainly will. But everybody, thank you very much. And that's funny. Mr. Vic goes, shout out to my home state of Connecticut.
Hey, that's cool. That's
exactly. That's you're speaking Mitch's language, so that's
come on over the house. I got nothing to do.
Mike says I have to look into going to Terrificon. It'd be a bit
damn right you do
in Iowa, but what the hell? What the hell indeed, man?
I drive 9 hours to come down to Mitch's Terrificon, so yes, we should go to it.
That's right. And weed is legal now in Connecticut, so there's even more reason to come down, Johnny.
Oh, I knew that last summer actually, and I I contemplated going to the dispensary, taking an Uber from Mohegan Sun to the dispensary. Exactly. But also, I mean, well, I don't know. I got to figure out because again, like I don't want to travel with them, even though I'm going from a legal state to a legal state. I don't know what the rules. I don't think you can.
You can put it in your contract writer for Terrificon. Mitch will take care of it.
Exactly. I'll put it in your writer that you need to have certain items.
Just get a little and get joints, and we can we can share the joints, and it'll be fine.
No thanks.
I'm just well, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. So there you go. Oh, that's hilarious. I guess Mr. Vic lives in Mexico. One day he will return. Very nice, Mr. Vic.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Tomorrow night on Word Balloon Live. Nice Adam West bobblehead there. Very good.
Thank you.
Word Balloon Live tomorrow night. The great film director, S. Craig Zoller, will be talking about his movies, but also he's been making comic books. And he's got a brand new sci-fi comic book that we'll be talking about. That's Monday. Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, myself and Dave Gibbons are back.
No way.
Nice.
I know. Dave's got an autobiography.
Yes.
That's about to come out. I've read it. It is fan-fucking-tastic. I can't recommend it enough. So, if you're a patron, you can write me questions, and I will include them. But so Dave and I are being talking on Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and then Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, Jeff Lemire and I will be talking. So that's kind of the week right now. Yeah, and beyond that, there are a few people. They're tentative, but we'll figure them out. A week from tomorrow, Mark Wade will be joining me in the evening. And as always, I got to thank Franco and Art for building on my acquaintanceship with Mark that now I believe I can call him a friend. And until he tells me, until he slaps the restraining order on me.
Also, I think there's rumors of an Oh Yeah podcast happening maybe this week.
God, I apologize, Franco. Yes, Friday, this coming Friday, we will be doing an Oh Yeah podcast. We'll talk about C2E2 and a whole hell of a lot more.
And ghost stories.
And ghost stories.
All right, until next time, everybody stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.